gonna take you to the sky. But till that morning, there is nothing that can harm you. With daddy and mommy standing by.
Jayden, thank you very much for your performance. Welcome to another edition of Talk Vietnam. Today we'll meet Jayden Jesudas, aka Jayden TJ, a New Zealand-born Vietnamese musician who is well known internationally for his skills with 12 musical instruments. Jayden won the first prize at the New Zealand Gold Guitar Awards in 2015 and many other prizes. And today we also have in our studio Mrs. Trịnh Thúy Liên, Jayden's mother, who is here with us to share more about her son's love for music. Thank you very much for being here with us in our show today.
Thanks so much for having us.
Jayden, you are only 11 years old, but you can play 12 musical instruments. How are you able to do that, and what are the 12 musical instruments?
So I'd just like to say first that I can play 13.
13.
I could play 12 before, but then when I came here to Vietnam, I learned the nhí, which in English is the two-string fiddle, Vietnamese traditional instrument, as probably our listeners do know. So I'll name the instruments now. So guitar, bass, flute, saxophone, clarinet, drums, piano, keyboard, Asian box drum, and drums as well, and nhí, which is what I'm learning now, flute, recorder, and melodica.
Wow, it's very impressive. How long did it take you to master these instruments?
Well, since I was 5 years old, I learned my first instrument, my first two instruments, which was guitar and recorder. It's like a flute. Normally flutes are that way, but it's this way, and it's much smaller, so it's very easy to play.
So you just mentioned that during this trip to Vietnam, you are enrolled in a music class for the two-string fiddle. How does it like to practice this instrument?
I think practicing it is very hard. I mean, you wouldn't even be practicing it if you couldn't conquer even trying it. It's a very hard instrument. It's probably the hardest I've ever done out of all my other 12 instruments.
The advantage is that Jayden also learned to play violin.
They're similar, but I think that nhí is hard because it's only two strings, so you have to do a lot of hand movement.
Yeah.
Whereas in violin, there's 4 strings, so you don't have to stretch too much. Yeah.
Jayden TJ's mother is Vietnamese. His father is Singaporean. Jayden was born and raised in Dunedin on New Zealand's southern island. Most recently, at New Zealand's Gold Guitar Awards last year, he won 3 first prizes in 3 different categories. This was added to his already impressive collection of first prizes at other national and international competitions. He produces and hosts a weekly radio talk show called Global Kids NZ to promote the voice of young people from multicultural backgrounds. The show had just won a prize in the Youth Zone category and PSA Supreme Awards for the Best Community Radio Show in 2015. Jayden says one of his dreams is to act as a junior ambassador for both New Zealand and Vietnam in terms of arts, music and culture.
Mrs. Liên, when did Jayden first become interested in music?
I think music came to him really naturally. I myself is really a lover of music, so I guess since he was in my womb, I already developed this bond with him through music, and I always kind of sang lullaby to him when he was still in my womb. So around 3.5, 4 years old, we decided that we would send him to a music and movement class, and it's basically an appreciation of music classes for preschoolers. And so he started around 3.5, 4 years old, and then when he became 5, we introduced him to instruments. So recorder and guitar were his first instruments. But the thing with he is that we recognized that he was really passionate about music was when he was given the first guitar, he wouldn't put it down, and he would practice on his own steam, and we never asked him to practice. And so just within a month he could already play quite well and sing and sang along when he plays. With his public performances is 5.5 years old, and that was the first time that he basked in farmers market, and we realized that he really likes performing. Yeah, so it's not just practicing and playing for his own enjoyment for music, but he always liked to share that with people around. Yeah.
Were you nervous at all? You don't
really
recall being nervous.
No,
You don't recall.
I'm not a nervous type of guy. I have to tell you this. In primary school, there was a school band, and the principal said that, oh, like, you can play guitar, so why don't you join the school band? So I was like, literally, when you're young, everything seems really giant to you, including people. So on the first day I went there, and I cried like so much because I was so scared, and because everyone looked so big, and it was all very overwhelming for me. So my mum came on top of stage with me, and she borrowed a guitar from a student, and she had to sit there for the whole session, just that one time, and play with me on stage.
That's amazing.
And that was really funny, embarrassing, and really kind of my mum to do that. But on the second session, I was fine, and I was more confident.
Thương như ai xuống rồi nên sắc tàn nhang màu cành tre tu chút gió là anh vẫn mong chờ sao chẳng thấy em.
You and your family trying to visit Vietnam every year. What do you like best about these trips, and what is your most favorite Vietnamese dish?
We come here a lot. Like, we try to come back every year because my grandma's here, my mum's mum is here, and my uncle is here, cậu Toan here, and so my grandma's getting older. But we try to come back every year to help my grandma, and yeah, I think my favorite Vietnamese dish obviously is bún chả and chè bưởi, because they're both really yummy dishes.
Does your mom cook Vietnamese food at home?
Yeah, she does. Like, mostly my dad cooks because you know, he's the head of the house. Like, they always say that men is the head of the house, so he always yeah, no offense. Anyway, so my dad always cooks. Sometimes it's just me and mum at home, so mum cooks
Vietnamese dishes.
Vietnamese dishes, and just like
I make bún chả.
and just like
as well.
yeah, bún chả, and just like normal things as well, just like
pho.
rice and stir fries and
Yeah.
yeah.
And Mrs. Lien, tell us more about the Vietnamese community in New Zealand. What's so special? Is there anything special that you would like to share with us?
Yes, where we come from, which is Dunedin. Dunedin is quite a small city. We have only 120,000 people. That's the population of the whole city. It's really a beautiful heritage city in the south of New Zealand. The Vietnamese community there is pretty small. We have quite a few younger Vietnamese studying in high school and as undergrad students. I think the special thing about the Vietnamese community there is because we are quite small, so we know each other very well, and we try to keep up with the tradition. We do try to get together quite often and listen to Vietnamese music a lot whenever we get together.
And since we're not that big, it's just a nice small group of probably 70, 80, maybe even 100, I'm not quite sure, group of people, yeah.
We do every now and then go to Wellington, and that's where the Vietnamese embassy there. And in September 2015, we celebrated 70th of independence, right? Vietnam Independence Day. So Jayden got invited to perform at the reception, remember that? And it was 40th anniversary of diplomatic relation between Vietnam and New Zealand. So it was really special to see all the Vietnamese at the reception. Yeah, so.
And that's why I also have this badge here. It's a Vietnam flag here, the red one, and the New Zealand flag. I always try to wear this because I'm very patriotic about Vietnam and New Zealand, because I think that they're both great countries, and that's also why I was thinking that maybe I could become a junior ambassador of representing the art and culture of Vietnam and New Zealand, that young musicians or artists in New Zealand could showcase in Vietnam, and young artists in Vietnam to showcase in New Zealand.
Many Vietnamese parents who live far away from Vietnam find it hard to teach their children Vietnamese, the language and also the culture and the heritage.
Yes.
How important do you find it to teach Jayden about Vietnam? Tell us more about your efforts you have made to teach Jayden about Vietnam.
Yes, teaching Vietnamese language to children when we are overseas is really a challenge. It is very challenging for me because it's very convenient to just speak English. We are in an English-speaking country and we don't have many Vietnamese friends. I think I am very encouraged by my husband my husband is the one that really is persistent about Vietnamese language teaching to my son. I do see the importance, but yes, it is very challenging because I work 2-3 jobs, and I'm also studying full-time as well. So finding time to speak Vietnamese to him is really hard, and also all the academic subjects are in English, so it's really easy to just teach him everything in English. But I made it a point to set time every week to teach him, and I do believe that if you teach a child how to write and how to read, then it's easier also for them, because children learn language really fast. Teaching them through songs is another way, and just basically really finding time to speak to them in Vietnamese. But I must say that it's challenging for me too.
Living far away from your hometown, how do you think it's important for your son to learn about Vietnamese culture, about Vietnamese heritage?
I try to talk to him through different stories and share with him about my childhood, and the fact that we do come back to Vietnam quite often. That also he can see the reality of Vietnam. So it's not just through what I describe to him and things like that. We do talk about different celebrations through the year. We talk about the values, especially moral and character building values. The Vietnamese character building values. Like humility, staying humble, respecting elders, and things like that. We live in a Western country. To teach the children about the values of the Vietnamese culture is really important to me, because I'm Vietnamese.
Like when you would teach me Vietnamese values, like I'm sure in other countries they also do this. Like before we're eating at a dinner table or a celebration, like con mời mọi người.
You have to invite
I invite
the
everyone
elder.
before, and also like the stuff like lisi, the red packets, also, which is giving
money.
thanks. Like I gave one to my mum, and before I come back to New Zealand, I'm going to give one to my dad, and that's the way I was saying respect to them. And today I also gave it to my younger friend. I would probably consider him as my younger brother, and that's why I gave them to him, and I also very appreciate him. And it's also about respect and all.
Jayden, I always see you with the headband. Is there something special about that headband?
Yeah, glad you asked. So a lot of people wonder why I wear this, and they're like, oh, can I ever go wearing it? But like, it's nothing religious or nothing compulsory. It's just so that it can keep the hair out of my eyes.
But it becomes part of your style.
Yeah, so like people, whenever they see me, sometimes they're like, oh, that's the guy with the manila, or that's a long hair.
Yeah, sometimes if he doesn't wear it, people wouldn't.
Yeah, like
notice.
People
They say,
like at the at the swimming pool. Sometimes I go to the swimming pool, like people won't recognize me because in the swimming pool, of course, I can't wear this, even though I would want to. But weird, like people will be like, "Who are you again?"
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
Put it back on. Oh,
Yeah.
That's you. You have shared with us that you have been determined to study Vietnamese because of a song that you really enjoy. Could you tell us more about that?
The song "Con có mây đi ăn đêm," which is the Vietnamese lullaby. That also wanted me to I don't know what that means. Maybe if I learn Vietnamese again.
Yeah.
This is when I was young.
When he was really little, I only spoke to him in Vietnamese.
Not English, because I didn't understand.
No English at all. I think the other song that you really liked was when at the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, when they put the flag, when they turn down the flag at night.
I sort of forget what the song is called, but and I didn't really learn like what the lyrics and all what I mean. But like I would normally, like whenever we go, I would always whistle the tune.
Bác đang cùng chúng cháu hành quân.
Yeah, I think that was also one of my top favorite songs. And now, of course, there's Hepzibah, because since that is coming up, and also that was like, it's a lovely song. So yeah.
Interesting. So which genre of music do you like most now?
Well, I think the one that I play the most would be blues, rock, jazz, and pop, and country. But I think I like all types of music. I think maybe I don't really prefer heavy metal music, like the ones that they'll play in nightclubs, because that's a little bit strong to the ear.
Besides playing music and performing music, you also write music, right?
Yeah.
Where did you get inspiration from?
I wrote a song. I was like, oh, I know, I could write a song, because since I can play guitar, this was after I could already play guitar quite well. And then I did write a song, and I couldn't wait for Mother's Day, so I just sang it on Saturday, on Thursday or Friday.
So that was his very first song.
This is the first song I wrote, and it was for my mum on Mother's Day. I wrote this when I was 7. It's called "A Mother's Love Can't Be Beaten." A mother's love can be beaten. A mother's love can be beaten. A mother's love can't be beaten. Mother's love can't be beaten. She's the one who taught me education. Oh yeah. She's the one. She's the one. She's the one. No. A mother's love can be beaten. Ooh, a mother's love can be beaten. Ooh, mother's love can be beaten. A mother's love can be beaten. She's the one who walked the fire for me. Oh yeah. She's the one. She's the one. She's the one. Love. A mother's love can be beaten. A mother's love can be beaten. A mother's love can be beaten. Mother's love can be beaten. She's the one who will walk the fire for me. Oh yeah. She's the one. She's the one. She's the one. Love.
Jayden, a lot of people here called you a music prodigy. How do you feel about that?
Well, I wouldn't consider myself as a star or a prodigy. I was born just like a normal kid, but then I had a passion for music, and I believe that hard work and passion is the key to success.
Yeah, he's really just a normal child. That's why we never put him in a special school, a special music school or anything. Just a normal school, 9 to 3, and then whatever that he wants to do is outside school time. So it's all outside curriculum. And just really his love for music and really hard work. And hard work I would say about 70% of the success, and then 30% is his passion. We as parents, we always believe that any child can be really genius or prodigy at anything that they can be. They can be a sports person, or they can be a mathematician, or they can be I don't know, a teacher or a doctor. But if they are passionate about what they do, and also if they put in a lot of time to practice what they learn, then they would be really successful. And we reward Jayden for his effort, not for his achievement. Whenever he goes and he competes at any competitions, music competitions, or if he represents the school at any academic competitions, we say that if you do it well at home, you already win at home. And when you are on the stage, especially with competitions, when you're on the stage, you just take it as an outlet to entertain people rather than think that it's a competition. So he's very relaxed when he's at the competitions.
Jayden must have spent a lot of time practicing music and performing music and also writing songs. So how can he find time for schoolwork?
Jayden usually gets up really early in the morning, 5:30, and does all his practice before his school. And then after school, he comes home, he will have different classes as well. Our focus is still very much academics. The school actually applies a method called strength-based learning. Strength-based learning is basically to look for the child's strength in anything, in sports, in arts, in music, in anything, and develop that strength to the level that the child is so confident that they can bring that confidence to other things as well. That's how he applies that to other subjects. So he's really good at maths and really good at writing, reading, top of the class, representing school for spelling, even current affair quiz, things like that. So balancing is another challenge, really. But with his 12 instruments and then now 13, it's not that every day he would practice all the 12. He would practice one instrument and then maybe alternatively he will practice. The good thing about primary school, it will change with intermediate and high school, is that children don't have homework. All the homework is sorted out during school time. So he doesn't have to do homework, and it will give him more time to do other things that he enjoys. But it will change with intermediate and high school, and that's why we try to guide him and teach him a little bit, just one step in advance at home, so that when he goes to school, he's confident in that kind of subjects.
Jayden has done very well in both music and schoolwork. And a lot of people think that children who perform very well, they are also under pressure and they would call their parents tiger mom or tiger parents. Do you think that you are one of those tiger moms?
I don't think that we are tiger parents. I think that we reward Jayden mostly for his effort. We always share with him that whatever you do at your best ability, because we probably perform a very tiny percentage of our brain capacity. So if you try to do your best, then you probably will do best. We give him a lot of space, you know. He has plenty of time to play, and he participates in all sorts of activities, and he still have time to play with other children. It's not that we are quite disciplined in a lot of areas because we think that if you give out your best, then you can perform well. But otherwise, we give him, you know, we let him take his own initiative in doing things, take his own, you know, leadership and things like that. We just do, you know, just normal parenting, and do give him the space that he needs.
What's your dream in the future?
Well, like I said before about the junior ambassador, that's one of my dreams. And since music, for music, I think breaking through to that high level of music career, like all these musicians like Katy Perry and like Bruno Mars and those people. If it's the Lord's willing, I'll probably I could just also stick with music. But I'm still young, so I don't know what I'm going to plan for me, because I still have a long life. When this idea popped up in my head, because me and my mum, we did ukulele lessons. We taught ukulele in the holidays in New Zealand. I just really like teaching children and teaching themselves. So I was thinking that I could become a music teacher and also a school teacher. And my mum always says...
Jayden is probably the youngest music teacher in the whole of New Zealand.
And my mum also says that...
Because he has a class
if you... my mum says, like, if you want to do something, like, for example, if I want to be a teacher or I want to be a musician, she just said that it doesn't matter what you do, you just have to do it with a good heart. And if you enjoy it, then that's also really good. It doesn't matter what you do. And do your best at what you do.
Jayden, do you know much about Tet holiday, and have you ever celebrated Tet in Vietnam?
So when I was 4 years old, because Yeah, I stayed here for about 4 months when I was 4. So I stayed here for that. But since I was pretty young, I couldn't really remember that much of what that was like. I just remember there was a lot of celebrating. I'm really sad and because I can't remember it, and I wish I could stay here with Dad here this time, but I can't because I have school.
Do you celebrate Tết holiday in New Zealand, and how special is it? How different it is compared to Vietnam?
Wow, it's really different because it's really small scale. First of all, Tết time in New Zealand is summertime. So it's nothing like Vietnam. So even the atmosphere or the weather is nothing like Vietnam. So it's not spring. We try to cook some Vietnamese dishes, but of course we don't have enough ingredients and stuff like that to cook. Dunedin has quite a connection with Asia. So they do celebrate lunar calendar. They have a garden in Dunedin, and on the New Year's Eve lunar calendar or Tết, they also organize fireworks, which is great because so we do often go to the garden and see the fireworks, and we feel, and every time I see that I always miss Vietnam very much.
So how do you tell Jayden about the meaning of Tết holiday?
I often say that Tết holiday is the way that the families and relatives reunite. At the end of the year, there are quite a few days for relaxing and visiting each other. Days that we can enjoy the dishes that we don't normally eat during the year. Even though we are away from Vietnam around that time, I call it in Vietnamese it's thiêng liêng, but as in English I can't find. Maybe it's really reflective and yeah, something that's really special to our hearts during that time.
Mrs. Lian and Jayden, thank you too very much for spending your time with us in our show today and sharing with us a lot of interesting stories. And Jayden, all the best to your music career.
Thank you very much.
Before we say goodbye, would you like to play us a song?
Sure.
Trong giao thừa đón xuân đang về với tình yêu trái đất này, ta cùng bao người nhìn nhau em mãi hân hoan với bao nhiêu yêu thương cuộc đời. chúc nhau thêm hạnh phúc, cuộc đời mãi thắm tươi. Con chúc hành gia tốt Việt Nam một năm mới tốt lành.